family has invited several people to come and share about Madeleine. Each one represents a particular aspect of her life, and I got to know her through a particular vantage point. So we look forward to hearing from them now. The first person who's going to share is Kathy Pickler. She was one of Madeleine's middle school teachers. She'll be followed by Mark Stanley, Madeleine's swim coach, and Griffin Mitchell, Madeleine's friend, and then Madeleine's father and mother will share.
Madeleine was my middle school student at Pioneer Olivet Charter School. Although the trends of education may change, what really matters are the students. The rich vein of lovely faces that we are awarded each year. I've been lucky to get to know extraordinary young people over my teaching career. I felt lucky the day Maddie walked into my classroom because she was a true standout. The first thing I noticed about Maddie was that she was clueless. She had no idea whatsoever that she had skipped the middle school awkward stage and was downright gorgeous. Rather, she was preoccupied with being a motivated, top-notch student. She was busy setting the benchmark for high-quality projects, impeccable grades, astute comments during class discussions, and a zest for learning. She was busy with her beloved coach, Pinelli, participating in our school's sports program. Madeleine was also a devoted member of leadership, not like her mom. When she visited our rooms on Spirit Day, Fridays, to record who was wearing green, our school color, you didn't get credit if you weren't wearing enough. The girl was spunky, competitive, powerful. I was honored to attend Madeleine's high school graduation, as many of you also attended. I was deeply moved by her eloquence. I heard her tell the audience and the graduates to appreciate life's simple pleasures and not to take them for granted. To be grateful for the opportunity to attend college, to be grateful for friends, family, and good health. On the Monday morning after Maddie left us, my 7th and 8th grade students were asked to write about what they were grateful for in their lives. Maddie's life passion and bravery inspired them to pour out their hearts, to count their blessings. Here are some of their thoughts. I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for the wonderful life I've been given. I appreciate my caring family who support me. I appreciate those who have faith in me and what I do, even when I don't believe in myself. I appreciate my friends who show me that life can be filled with hope and affection. I am grateful for God and how He influences my life. His plan for the best. I put my life in His hands. I remember to breathe and let it work through me. Like Mary, mother of Jesus, she gave her life to God and let Him work through her. I appreciate being able to walk, talk, hear, and smell. Not everyone can do these things. I am grateful for the food cooked daily by my mom and grandma. I think we should stop and think back a moment and appreciate what we have instead of wanting more. I think I'm poor, but those who live in the streets would find me rich because I have more than they do. I appreciate nature and how peaceful it is when I just need to be alone. I appreciate music and how it can always change my mood when no one else can. I appreciate being able to have an education so that I can have a successful future. Many people don't have this opportunity. I appreciate my mom because she helps me as much as possible, even if she doesn't understand homework. I am grateful for my family traditions. My baby cousin Liam brings joy to my world. I thank God that my house is always warm. I'm grateful for my big sister. She lets me hang with her. I am grateful for tears. Tears help me through sad or troubled times and comfort me when I need them. God helps me through everything in life. In the book of Psalms, it says that He will guide my way so that my foot shall never strike a stone. He protects me and helps me through life, in good times and bad. I should never forget the things I appreciate in life: family, friends, and God. Whether Maddie was watching a Giants game with her dad, hanging with her brother Max, or in a hospital enduring a medical process, with the loving support of her mom, she inspired those around her and fought bravely. Although she was with us for only 19 years, she left a huge footprint behind. Her life was meaningful and far-reaching. It was the way she lived her short life and how she inspired and held fast to her faith. She was 19, going on 8. Watch out, angels up there. Don't be surprised if she doesn't try to reorganize the ranks. You'll be better for it, thanking her for her wisdom and grace. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Psalm 121. Blessings to all who mourn.
Met Madeleine when she was 3 years old. I was her swim coach. We were friends. I too was born at Memorial Hospital, 1950, 63 years ago. I've seen some things in my life that I don't think any man should have to see. I've tried to forget some things. I really don't think I've ever been this sad. Last week, Michael Severi said that he was devastated to hear that Madeleine had passed away, but he was grateful to have known the inspiration that her life was. Kayla Gloyston told me 2 days ago, literally tears running off her chin, that Madeleine had helped make her a better human being. Over 30 of us met yesterday at the Montecito swim pool for a memorial swim for Madeleine. We swam and played some games. You know, the pool might have been flooding a bit because there were so many people in there, but I suspect the tears had something to do with it also. I swam this morning with my dear friend Jim Young. Jim said, "Hey Mark, did you see that big bird that was sitting in the tree at the pool when we were swimming yesterday? It was there the whole time watching us." Jim said, "Yeah, it probably doesn't mean anything." Albert Einstein, who I understand to be a man of great intellect, also a man of great faith, he said that there are 2 ways to live your life. 1, as though nothing were a miracle, and 2, as though everything were. I don't know, Jim. I like number 2. You know, the joy of coaching high school swim kids, young adults, it's just a real pleasure to get to know them when they're maybe 14 years old and be a part of their life for several years and watch them mature and go through the things that young people go through. One of the real pleasures for me was when I was asked to write a letter of recommendation, either for a scholarship or a college application, maybe for a first job. And I took these requests very seriously. It was an opportunity for me to communicate to them what I felt was the essence of their soul. I wanted them to know what I admired and respected about them. And I wanted them to know that they were special and that their life was a miracle. Every one of those I put a lot of time and a lot of heart into. And each one was unique. I wrote one for Kyle Bauer with a little sticky note on it that said, you might not want to send this one in. He said, no, I loved it, Mark. It was perfect. Thank you. I didn't get to write one for Madeleine. No college application, no scholarship request, no first job. And I deeply regret that. So I wrote one, and I want to share it with you. To whom it may concern. I don't particularly like that salutation, but that is the protocol. To whom it may concern. One could say, I was Madeleine's coach, but that's not really true. In fact, Madeleine was the coach, and I was the student. Not in the spoken language, but in the more powerful language of action. Madeleine Bonta taught me the miracle of life. She taught me that life is full of challenges. Many of them will be painful. She taught me that we will know suffering and disappointment. Our hearts will be broken. And in the midst of these experiences, we get to make a choice. We can choose to be a victim and give up and blame the circumstances. Or we can face our challenges with courage and integrity. This will be the much harder path. But it is only on this path that we will find the true and authentic joy of being human. I have personally witnessed the impact that young Miss Madeleine has and had on our community. We as a whole are better citizens. We care more for each other. We are quicker to forgive. We are more eager to discover where we may be of service to the greater good of our friends and families, and even those whom we may have hurt. I'm also pretty sure that if she were here now, and we showed her what we say she accomplished, she wouldn't even know what we were talking about. This is not what she did. This is who she was. Her goodness was as invisible to her as the water to the fish and the air to the bird. It is with the most profound respect and admiration for a life well lived that I give my humble recommendation for Madeleine Bonta. She will make you eternally proud. I give my sacred oath that what I have written here is true and accurate to the best of my ability. Mark Stanley. There was a day of practice, and I was ranting, as I was wont to do on occasion. I said, I don't care if you learn how to swim. What I care about is that you show up on time. You keep your word, and you always do your best. And it'd be nice if you learned how to swim. A month or two later, I was ranting again on another subject. Madeleine speaks up. I don't really care if you ever learn how to swim. I want you to learn how to keep your word, show up on time, always do your best, and it would be nice if you learned how to swim. Somebody was listening. No, I don't pray and meditate formally much anymore. It's almost a constant with me now. I listen to my heart. And in my prayer, I asked God if Madeleine was okay. And in my meditation, I heard the answer. Madeleine said, I'm fine. Quite fine, actually, Mark. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell my friends today something. I want you to tell them that I was blessed to be a part of your life. And one other thing. Tell them, don't be afraid to fall in love. It's the best thing there is in life. So my little darling, I will tell them that. I miss you. I love you. I will see you soon. Amen.
It's phenomenal to see everyone here today who's Maddie's life touched, and it's truly my honor to stand in front of you today and get to say some words about Maddie. First of all, my name is Griffin Mitchell, and today is a beautiful day. Maddie and I have been close since freshman year of high school, and it turned out that we were previous neighbors for 11 years, which we found out after I moved to the other side of town. A lot of time that we missed there. Maddie had this unbelievable glow to her, just this kind of swagger that when she walked in the room, this vibe that you could just tell she was there. Just this positive, uplifting vibe that she could walk in a room full of people and everyone would just immediately notice her. This was accompanied by an unbelievable amount of humor and sarcasm, but Maddie was never short of opinion on anything, even when you didn't ask for it. Throughout the duration of high school, any girl that I had ever pursued or told Maddie that I had feelings for just was never good enough. And I finally realized that this was all just a selfless act of Maddie and who she was. This altruism where she didn't expect anything in return, but she always wanted the best for other people. Even when her condition worsened, and we noticed as we approached towards the 15th of December that you could see in her blog and her social media posts that thank you to the nurses and thank you to the doctors. Wow, these people are just doing their job, you know, and thank you to their friends and family. It's unbelievable to me, and I feel like as Maddie approached closer to the 15th that these layers were being peeled away from her in a good way. She started to see what's really important in life. Now for us it might have been hard to see right away, but it's not about when we saw it, it's just about if we see it or not. Maddie was trying to show us the real meaning of life, love, enjoyment, what really matters. I got a call from Ted Barton on the 13th, which was a Friday, around 10 a.m., which was 2 hours before when I should be waking up. But he told me that Maddie's condition had worsened and they didn't know if she could persevere through the weekend. And there was no hesitation in telling Ted that I'm literally on my way right now. I left school and I was in Santa Rosa, but a 3-hour drive from Chico by 3 o'clock. We waited and we saw Maddie on Saturday. The most important thing that I told Maddie was that I could never be disappointed in her. You know, she was a role model for all of us with the way that she lived her life. And there was just no way I could ever be disappointed in her. In fact, I should be thanking her for the years that I've known her and what she's taught me. As I left on that Saturday to go back up to Chico, I had a short conversation with Max, her brother, on the cell phone. We kept trying to figure out why. Why Maddie? Why? There's no reason. We couldn't figure out a reason. This is one of the things in life that's just unexplainable. But what we concluded was that there's a purpose. Maddie's purpose brought us so much laughter and so much happiness and so much sarcasm that there's no way that we can be mad or upset or hold a grudge that why did she leave us at such a young age. She taught us so much, friendships, laughter, that we would have never had if we didn't have her in our lives. That's what Maddie believed, friendship and love are the most important things. Today is a truly beautiful day because we're all here to extend friendships, meet new people, and talk again. That was what Maddie really liked. People to rekindle friendships. If she taught me anything, it's that life is too short to not say what you're truly feeling or fight for something that you truly care about. Life is too short to not tell someone that they're beautiful. Life is too short to take anything for granted. But most importantly, life is too short to not enjoy who and what surrounds you. As she said in her blog, I think we can all see this quote. Life is precious. Life isn't always easy. Life is beautiful. Life is amazing. We have so much to be thankful for in life. So I say again today, it's truly a beautiful day.
A little upset with Madeleine today. Because of this memorial service, I'm wearing a coat and tie, which I haven't done since Ronald Reagan was president. So, Madeleine, I know you're listening, and we'll be talking later about some consequences. Madeleine was a talented young woman, and I want to share to you with you today one of those talents. This is her American Express card. She was really good at shopping. She loved it, and she had a passion for it. And I think her mentor may be Devin Breck, but we'll talk about that later. Every Sunday, Deanne and Madeleine would go to Costco and Target to get food and household items. Invariably, when they came home and we unloaded the car, there were a lot of other things that she had purchased, which weren't food or household items. After a while, I began to view these Sunday shopping trips as Madeleine's weekly training session to fine-tune her shopping skills. At every location that Madeleine went for her cancer treatment, her first question that she would ask would be, where is the nearest mall? I am proud to tell you today that I have been in True Religion, Hollister, and Juicy Couture shops in Riverside, San Francisco, and Bethesda, Maryland. In March of this year, we were fortunate enough to go to Hawaii through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It was our last family trip together. We went to Honolulu and stayed on Waikiki. One day, Deanne and Max decided to drive to Pipeline to watch the big wave surfers. They had a wonderful and memorable day there. Madeleine, however, wanted to stay in Waikiki and shop. You need to know that in Waikiki, there are the following high-end stores. There's Tiffany, there's Gucci, there's Coach, there's Louis Vuitton, there's Yves Saint Laurent, and it's Hermes. I believe in baseball. They say that when a minor league player is sent up to the major leagues, he's being called to the show. Well, that day, Madeleine was called to the show. As we left our hotel to go to these shops, I began to hear the voice of a salesperson in my head saying, "Thank you for shopping Tiffany. Thank you for shopping Gucci." I also saw Madeleine's American Express card bursting into flames. But you know what? She didn't buy anything. I didn't ask her why, because I didn't want to tempt fate. But I can tell you from that day forward, I started to believe in miracles. I want to take a minute or two to acknowledge and thank a few people. The Pioneer Olivet School District, where Deanne is a teacher. Her fellow teachers provided sick leave to Deanne so that she could stay home with Madeleine during the last several weeks of her life. I cannot emphasize too much how generous and important a gift that was to Deanne and Madeleine. The Geary Shea O'Donnell Gratman Mitchell Law Office, where I work. The only question they ever asked me was, what can we do to help? Their support for my family has meant so much to me, and I cannot thank them enough. Dr. Nikolai Anderson. Dr. Anderson was Madeleine's oncologist at Kaiser. He knew what to say to Madeleine, and more importantly, he knew how to say it. We were blessed to have Dr. Anderson as her doctor. Amber Magnus. Amber has helped take care of Madeleine and Max since they were young children while Deanne and I worked. Amber, you know that Madeleine adored you. Jack and Donna Major. Jack and Donna are Deanne's aunt and uncle, who she loves very deeply. They have a beautiful cabin near Mount Lassen that became, in some ways, a sanctuary for Deanne and Madeleine. Deanne and Madeleine were fortunate enough to go to the cabin one last time in November. My dad, Gus. Dad, we thank you for all the support you have given our family over the years. Madeleine loved you and Mom dearly. You are a great role model. My son, Max. Max, I have two things to say to you. First, you need to clean your room. And second, your mother and I are very proud of you. But you still need to clean your room. Suzanne Danford. Suzanne is Deanne's sister. She was responsible for Madeleine's blog. Suzanne, if there was a Pulitzer Prize for blog writing, you would have won it hands down. I can't tell you how many people told me how beautifully written the blog was. They would also ask who wrote it, and I, of course, said it was me. More importantly, Suzanne was a driving force in seeking out new treatments for Madeleine. We know that because of Suzanne, Madeleine was able to be with us beyond what we thought possible. What a wonderful gift you gave us. And finally, Deanne, Madeleine's mother. Having observed Deanne and Madeleine the past 2 years, I am hard-pressed to think of a higher calling in life than to be a mother. She was Madeleine's rock. She was there for every lab test, CT scan, PET scan, MRI, chemotherapy treatment, and surgery. She did it without complaint. Madeleine could be difficult at times. She She occasionally needed to be coaxed, prodded, and even bribed on occasion to get her to a place where she would do what she needed to do. Deanne was there for her with unlimited patience and love. Madeleine was a very determined and courageous young woman. She was able to overcome obstacles and fears which a teenager should not have to face. However, it is clear that without Deanne as her mother, we in all likelihood would have had this memorial service a year ago. Since this journey began, our family has always felt comforted, cared for, and loved. If there was a silver lining to what has happened, it was the revelation that there were so many good people out there, like all of you, who were willing to open their hearts to us.
I had no idea what David was going to say. It makes it hard to speak. I'll do my best. I'm overwhelmed to look out and see all of you, and I just want to thank you all for being here today. We're so touched by your love and your support for Madeleine and for our family. I think I'll start at the beginning with my talk, with when Madeleine was born. As many of you know, she was due to be born in November, but she came in October. And I think that should have been our first clue that Madeleine was in charge right from the very start. Because she was born early, she only weighed about 5 pounds. I remember carrying her around on my forearm in the house, and I'm thinking, this is just like a little sack of sugar. And later I told her the story, and it came to be that when she would sign a note or stay card or something to me, she'd always write, "Love, your little sack of sugar." Madeleine always had a great smile. I remember when she was only a few months old, and I would take her on errands with me. And one time I was at the bank, and I had her in the little child carrier, and I put that on the floor, and I'm waiting in this long line, and I hear laughing behind me. I turned around, and I could see people looking at Madeleine on the floor in the carrier. And then I looked down at her to see what was so amusing. And I watched her. She would catch somebody's eye in the line. She'd make sure that they were looking at her. And then she would give them a really big smile. And she'd kind of maybe just do her shoulder a little bit or something. And they were just laughing. And she didn't even know who they were. But she was smiling. I think she carried that right through that talent with her through the rest of her life. She was even selected by her senior classmates for the title of biggest flirt. And she considered that a great honor. Everywhere we went, there were people who treated Madeleine as if she was their own daughter. Or their best friend. She had a way of connecting with those who touched her life. The nurses, the doctors, other patients that she met in treatment, children in her Sunday school class, the children that she came to work with in my class. She would open the door to my classroom to come by every week, and you'd hear this cry, "Madeleine!" And she enjoyed it as much as I did. And she really connected with her many friends. Madeline was always very determined, too. Her dreams seemed to have no bounds, especially when she had her charge card in her hand. But the determination could show itself in many ways, both positive and when you're her mother and father, you see some of the negative values in the determination too. David and I were often amused by her fine negotiating skills that never seemed to end. But her determination served her so well in facing cancer. She was determined to fight. She was determined to live a full life. She was determined to make the best out of her situation. She was determined to fulfill her dreams. And she was determined to find something positive in the midst of many trying situations. As we helped Madeleine in her battle, there were so many blessings to be found. After I speak, if you'll notice on the program, there will be a song that's printed on the back, but don't look right now. That's not a good teaching skill to direct people's attention elsewhere. But I'm still learning. I want you to know that I had heard that song more than a year ago as I was driving to work, and it spoke to us of finding blessings in very hard times. Madeleine's treatments brought us many opportunities to find blessing that we wouldn't have. Her situation helped us find those blessings. We saw the most amazing outpouring of love, support, kindness from all of you and people we don't even know. And it hasn't even stopped. And it's as if each one of you has come along beside us and held us up with your arms and helped us to walk on this journey. And I just can't tell you the words to thank you for all you've done in support. I'm looking at Dennis Peacock. They're bricks in the wall, aren't they? Probably 20 years I heard a sermon about being a brick in the wall. Anyway, another blessing that we had was, there are not many parents of teenagers who can say that they got to spend more time with their child as they turned 18 or 19. Kids are going off to school, they're finding other interests. Well, Madeleine and I had a lot of time to find each other and to be together, even if it was in a hospital room across the United States, or at a mall, or just sitting and watching, shall we say, Dynasty, or what not to wear, or say yes to the dress. Anyway, we also had a chance to be very close as a family, too. And now Madeleine is close to God. She's free from sickness, she's free from suffering. I'm confident that God loves her more than we ever could. And, you know, heaven has a little sack of sugar now, too.